Working with, as a working professional stylist, I still continue to work in my job. But for me, education is a passion. And creating the right skill set for students across the world, especially in India. Fashion is not local, it's global. So if we can provide these students with a global skill set to make them able to work in a global market, it's one step in them having a foothold, an advantage in finding jobs in the market. London School of Trends and INIFD have pioneered, and I've worked on the programme of the products for the past 3 years in bringing these students to the global market in terms of showcasing their collections and the designs across the globe. We started off with London, and the aim with London was to showcase young emerging Indian designers into the market. But for me, most importantly, was bringing this amazing traditional craft to find across India, marrying that with silhouettes that were going to appeal to a global audience.
So what are you to say? What are the collaboration with the institute, foreign institute and an institute? How does it develop the knowledge quotient and the friendship and the cordial relation between two countries as such?
The cordial relationship between two countries is not the most important thing. The development of a global understanding of the industry is important. Okay. If we as a people, we as professionals can pass on this knowledge to students in India, teaching them about fashion, most importantly engaging with global fashion, then we're doing our job. And what we do is we use, as I said to you earlier, traditional crafts. You look at a dress like that, which is traditionally Indian in the print. This print is specially created to make sure that we give something which is very Indian in its feel, but on the other hand, it is globally appealing. We develop crafts, we develop prints, we develop techniques which are traditional, give them a modern edge to make sure that it appeals to everyone, both at home in India, but across the globe as well.
Talking about the students of INFD, what about the knowledge quotient and about the passion kind of thing? They are eager to learn. What do you have to say about the students? Students are sponge. The more you feed them, the more you give them the opportunity to learn, and the more you give them the tools to understand that they can learn, they develop. One important thing as far as the creative industry is concerned is failure. No one should be afraid to fail. If you make a dress, it doesn't work, you learn from it. And for me, as an industry professional, it's so important that we actually let students fail. Because through failure, they learn, they develop, they understand things better. And giving them a global sense of understanding who the main players, the influencers in fashion are, is the most important thing. One word which I hate, which I hear all the time in India, is Western clothing. There's nothing like Western clothing, because this is the clothing that the students wear every day, you wear every day. Yes, there's traditional clothing, but the minute you start thinking about it as my clothes, you take ownership of it, you're able to work with it better. You're able to see it in a different light. So for me, it's important that we don't generalize anymore. This is the clothing that we do, because this is the thing that we have to learn to design. Talking about the Indian fashion culture or the Indian fashion industry, how vibrant, because the vibrant India is coming, so what vibrant do you see, and what kind of difference you want to see in the future? What better in the terms of industry as a fashion industry, more organized, more developing?
Yes, the Indian fashion industry is great. Firstly, let's look at the industry itself. You've got great designers, the likes of Manish Malhotra, Sabyasachi, these people who actually are the benchmark of working in the Indian fashion market. But we also mustn't forget designers who are not actually that prevalent in the Indian market, but are making a name globally for Indian fashions, the like of Manish Arora. We've got to get students to be able to understand both sides of this, because in this world that we are in today, in the age of e-commerce, you can be based in India and sell globally. So why limit your market to one particular place? Why limit your market to one particular season? A lot of young designers from institutes come out and they start their own labels, and their business period is the wedding season. And that's if they're lucky, because they're all doing exactly the same thing. Start differentiating yourself, be a leader, stop being followers. And that's what we instill in most of our students that come through the process. Get into New York, get into London, yes, it's great. But the most important thing is understanding the process of getting to New York, getting to London. How you go from your design idea to your color palette, you go to your muslins, you go to your specification sheets, you go to what the market wants. That's the most important thing. And eventually, they will start understanding that, yes, this is how we have to work to be prevalent or to be, to have a say or have a share of the global market. Let's not forget, India produces so much for designers and high street brands across the world. So why not create those brands from India?
There must be a vision for the future as such regarding the students of INFD or regarding India as such. What's your vision for that?
Vision is to see what we are doing now a lot larger. See it more on an international stage where people will want to come to see it. And don't get me wrong, our shows in London and New York are always packed out. And people come to our shows now, regularly featured in Vogue magazine, in other magazines across the world. So we can't ask for more. But what I want is to see the students be able to be employed in the leading, influencing global brands before they start their own brands and make their name for themselves.
Firstly, your introduction, your association with INFD and the Fashion Week happening in New York and London as well. So, how passionate about you were with fashion initially, and how did your mentor help you out in this regard?
Okay, so New York Fashion Week is like a milestone for every design student. And when we came to know we're getting this opportunity, so we're from INFD Bandra. When we came to know we're getting this opportunity, we were really happy. So the three of us started designing, like we made 3 different designs. And it was compiled into one entire look. So it has all our outputs in it.
What about your mentor who is guiding you for the event as such? I mean, it's a mega opportunity for you to showcase your talent. What would you say?
I feel like we've been really supported, and we kept asking Sir regarding like doubts, and he's been supporting us throughout. So,
what about you? How is an experience, and what about your mentors and MBS students guiding you for the career?
I think it has been a very wonderful experience, starting out with the designs that we sketched out and our designs getting selected. That was actually a very happy moment for us. And throughout the process, whether it was our teachers back in our institute or whether it was Joseph sir, everyone has guided us so much. And I think we are really happy with what we have got finally.
I think your experience regarding the mentors and what's the vision for the future?
I think working with showcasing your garment in New York Fashion Week is a milestone in itself. And working with Joseph sir, he's been mentoring us. He's been really, really helpful. Every doubt that we had, he has helped us a lot in that. And I think working with him is a milestone. A garment is very feminine, and we wanted to make something which shows femininity and strength at the same point. So yeah, that he helped us enhance that even more. So that we're really thankful to him.
So what kind of sample you are going to show in the Fashion Week? What is the creation for?
Okay, so we took inspiration from the trend reports, and we wanted to make like a mix of femininity with, so like the shoulders are big. So we wanted to add like an androgynous touch to it with the shoulders. And at the same time, something for the modern woman which she feels empowered and strong. So yeah, that was our...
Yeah, so exactly like she said, we wanted to keep it feminine, but at the same time, we want to make it bold and strong with the cuts and the structured pleats and the shoulders that we have. So that, yeah, so kind of, resembling a strong, independent woman of the modern age.
It's very well constructed, and we have like this side panels and huge shoulders, but very soft belt sleeves, which shows a mix of both femininity and strength, bold. Yeah.
Because it's in her contract. Yeah. Because in her contract she cannot. Right. She cannot. She can put that into. Let's stand for you now.
Firstly, I want to ask your introduction, association with INFD, and what the New York Fashion Week happening. I think I'm really excited about the coming event.
Okay, so myself, Mahurats Rajput. I am from INFD Borivali. It has been a great journey till now, working with both the mentors and INFD family. And I am really excited to be a part of New York Fashion Week this time. I am exhibiting one garment, and the colors and flow and everything जो भी मुझे बताया गया था guideline mein. I have been working on those, and it has been a great journey till now.
Talking about the students, talking about their fashion, their knowledge depth, what do you have to say about that? I mean,
I think everybody is very creative, and since you have mentors like Joseph and I'm sorry, can I say again? Since I teach also in INFD, so I have seen students are very creative, they are experimental, and since we have mentors like Biagio and Joseph sir, it has been a great experience working with them as a faculty, as a student, since I'm also exhibiting. We are working in flows. There are a lot of prints you're going to see color blocking, and yeah, I'm really excited.
and what new change you want in the Indian fashion industry? And we need to be more organized in the future as well.
I think silhouette-wise, because India is of course famous for Indian textile and embroidery, heritage embroidery and textile. So I would like to see more of contemporary design, more of street style casuals. Yeah.
What we should do is that while this is large in this way, just let's make it up in this way, and we do like a nice ruching.
Just ruching,
yes.
yeah.
Because in this way, the big shoulder, it looks more constructed and more or less detailed. Yes, you give a little bit of an 80s feeling, and it looks more like modern because we have this feeling going around for the moment.
And you got all the trends that you need for
yes,
this.
you have the big
brocade,
you have the brocade, you have
shoulders.
the big zipper behind, you have the big shoulder part. Just make sure that the shoulder part and this have to be a little bit cleaner here. Just make sure that the cut, you see, when you do do it clean in this way. Otherwise, it looks a little bit odd.
It doesn't look
yes. Maybe this eye.
We just, literally, once you take it off, we just ruche it all the way down.
Yeah.
Just pull it, you know, then you do the stitching.
I was thinking, but sometimes you can see.
You got to be careful of this fabric as well.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fabric, it's very delicate. So when you do this, you've got to be very delicate with delicate.
If they put the threads and
Yeah, yeah.
So the ruching needs to be
Can you internally?
fixed. It needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Because it's nice if you have a ruching just in this part in this way,
Yeah.
which could be
Quite nice. Because then you've got this flare over the sleeve.
yeah. So you can do actually this. Imagine to take a thread, you stop it here, do this, you pump this, yes, and then you pull it till here, and then you do it nicely here. You stop it nicely, so you have all this feeling here, and we have a shoulder
Clean, yeah. So you've got that
down
clean
this
line.
way, and then you have all of this coming down there.
But I do love the big zip on the back.
Yes, the big zip is very nice. You need to make sure that you arm it really well,
yeah.
because the zip
It's
is
puckering now.
yes,
Yeah, so you need to get it all straight. And so on. But yeah.
yeah.
Good job. Well done.
Good.
Let's get you going to the next one.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.